The Christianity of the elders, the Christianity of the fathers is different from ours. In the days of the fathers, ministry broke out of intimacy. Ministry is not an organization, it's an organism. As they walk with God, you'll find somebody praying. After praying for 30 days, for 60 days, for 1 year, for 2 years, things begin to happen. And people begin to join him. And they are just praying. As they are praying, is growing. As they are praying, is growing. Today, people don't start ministry organically. They are looking for structure. They draw the structure, draw the blueprint, and write scholastic documents. And after 1 year, you hear fornication, you hear lying, you hear gossip, you hear manipulation. And so in one house, you have 1,000 forms of iniquity. Because that thing did not come from the womb of God. And because it is not born from intimacy, that thing you call a ministry is a bastard. Because God did not have intercourse with you. And so what came out of that relationship is not an offspring of God. And so God looks at it, it looks like ministry, but it's a platform for the devil. And at the end of the day, demons will have harvest much more than what you call a ministry. Because when you come to such ministry and censor it, in 4 years, 35 virgins would have been disflowered. You will find witchcraft, all kinds of witchcraft there, because God is not there. It's not God that bettered it. It is a product of your intercourse and your ambition. And so it is your ambition that gives rise to that alien. Because aliens are born through perversion. They said the sons of God had intercourse with the women, the daughters of the sons of men. Aliens were born. So if God is not the one that entered into intimacy with you, what is born is not ministry. That thing is an alien. And after a while, the devil will masquerade through it. And so the way God encounters men is to find men that are in love with him. These are not preachers. These are not theologians. This one didn't come from a Bible school. They are just seeking God every day. It's said early in the morning, in the cool of the day, he went to a solitary place. There he prayed. He went to a quiet place and he talked to God. He mingled with God. And as he kept praying, the energy he was creating was drawing men. It was drawing men. He was creating something from the intimacy quarters. It was not a scholastic staging of a systemic structure. It was intimacy producing offsprings that resemble God. And so if we seek encounters, intimacy must be restored. Intimacy. If we ask him genuinely, do you love God? Prayer is a body. Because for us, prayer is a register that we fill every day. And so we struggle to pray in tongues. When we are done praying that tongues for 2 hours, we say we have marked today's register. Even your wife, if you call her for the purpose of calling, she will hate you. Because nobody is interested in marking register. Honey, how are you? Hope you are fine. Have you eaten? Are the children okay? Thank you very much. They will look at you. Were you forced to call me? Because there's no relationship. That's what many people do. They just want to mark the register. But God is looking for lovers. Because when you come before your lover, sometimes you are not talking. You are just there. His presence is like a fragrance. Like a fragrance. And you are just perceiving his breath. You are just sensing his touch. And you are just there. And sometimes you are there for the whole day. You are overwhelmed by that presence. And it just whispers to you and you are full of joy. And that joy, you can run with it for 1 week. You are not talking reading Bible so that you can say I read 10 chapters every day. Sometimes you open one verse and that one verse becomes a discussion. And it begins to touch your heart. And you sit on that verse. Sometimes you are crying. Sometimes you are weeping. And you are weeping. And you are weeping. And it's just one verse of scripture. Because he's come alive. Intimacy has come alive. And as he's talking to you, it's like that scripture is for you alone. They uttered it for you before the foundation of the world. He said, with an everlasting love have I loved you. He loves you that much. And that testimony of love becomes a personal statement. It's not a scripture you are reading to quote. You have caught the whisper of your lover. Just the same way you look at your wife and you say, I love you. That I love you can resonate in her soul deep. Sometimes you tell your wife I love you, she will go to the kitchen and cook the best meal, serve you with all her heart. And throughout the day, she's smiling. She's just smiling. What did they say is I love you? Why is I love you so important? Because that one is not a phrase. You are communicating your heart to her heart. It's intimacy.